So this is a blockout I did in Unreal Engine 5. It's just a practice project to get into Unreal, learn some of the basics, some of the workflow. And this level is for a concept DLC for Halo Combat Evolved. It's based on the book The Cole Protocol. So this blockout takes place inside a hollowed out asteroid. It's a just a dock for ships and cargo storage. So actually, part of this level takes place on an alien ship through this door, and this blockout is for as the player's transitioning from the ship into this dock. So this door's a bit larger, intended for moving cargo in and out of the ship, not just for personnel to board it. So as the player enters the space, they get this kind of vignette of the the dock ahead of them. It's got a couple levels to it. Um, you can't really. There's not much like stimuli for the player. Right now, the enemies are kind of hidden, kind of out of sight. There's one up there that hurt. But that enemy probably starts like a path from behind the boxes. So not much to grab the player's attention right now, except for just this kind of view. So the intention is that they notice these NPCs who will also maybe grab the player's attention with some dialogue, and then they deliver this objective, which is that if the player can reach the control room, they can plug the AI that they're carrying, Juliana, into the systems, and she can open the airlocks in the adjacent dock where there's actually some fighting going on between the player's allies and some more Covenant. So that's like through the orange door into the next area. And so the control room is kind of meant to be apparent to the player. But what Halo CE also did was they used these orange diamonds as these kind of objective markers. And then they would have like the distance to the objective in meters, like a running number underneath that would get smaller as you approached it. And so, maybe there's something similar being utilized here to show the player that that's where they need to go. There's also, or maybe it's a green light on the doors up there. Um, maybe some dialogue, but yeah. So, um, and then with the opening of the airlocks, there would probably be some like radio communication going on between yourself, the soldiers in the adjacent dock, to make sure that they're wearing their gear, and what their plan is to hopefully catch some of the Covenant off guard. So after you receive that information, you sort of move into the space, and the player can use this initial cover just to get some information. At this range, the enemies probably aren't going to engage with the player just yet, unless they were to start shooting at them. If the player wants to start, trying to take some of the enemies out, they can. They can also move up to this cover here on the ramp, and kind of strafe left or strafe right. There are these two areas that they could choose to also get some vantage point. This particular spot has some grenades next to a fallen soldier. So you can use this area and also shoot some of the Covenant. We'll go to the right over here. Let's say the player chooses to go here. This is a slightly I kind of like this side a little bit, but there's some interesting fighting by the vehicle that can be kind of fun to do too. So yeah, you can deal with the grunts from here. There's some things blocking line of sight to the jackal over there. The jackals in the back are kind of a little still too far away to be too much of a threat. You can hop this railing, deal with the grunts from this angle, and then also sort of open yourself up to the jackal up there. And so the the idea is to just kind of separate these enemies a little bit with just how line of sight is established. So if the player has gone to the left or come over to the right over here, they can kind of deal with the enemies in pieces, and then they'll turn the corner over here and face these jackals. And again, here's some supplies that they can use, get some ammo, and they could fight these last couple enemies from here. As they approach the back of this area, the door is it's closed off at the moment. They need to get to the control room, so they can take these stairs on either side. It's pretty close to being symmetrical. There are these large windows here, and this is kind of a sci-fi design element, I think. These sort of like angled windows with these kind of frames look like this. I think they're pretty cool, and yeah, wanted to have something like that. So as they go up, the player may notice they can look through these windows and get some information on the adjacent dock, the fighting that may be going on over there, how things are going, or they just kind of make their way up here. And here's another door that leads to like a ledge outside into the adjacent dock. And they see the control room now. There's a couple enemies in there, so that this window sort of provides a way to see inside. And they can approach the door to go into the control room. Yeah, there's another fallen soldier over here and a health pack, which is, from afar you can kind of tell, okay, the white health pack, the player should be pretty familiar with what that is. So if they need that, they can grab some. Also, the railing is kind of broken here. There's some exploration that can pay off by the player finding a shotgun over here. Something in Halo games is that sometimes there's a little bit of parkour, a little bit of exploration, that you can find some more supplies, and you can actually parkour to this place, climbing the pipes, jumping to the truck, and then jumping to here. And you kind of do that earlier, and you might, by doing that, you might bypass the enemies down there with the shields, or you could still kind of hop down and deal with them, or climb up here. So yeah, let's get to the control room. The door here, it'll open, and you'll have sort of jackals on either side. You kind of take one out, and this cover in front of you is meant to give you the opportunity to sort of split the room, split up the enemies in here. I mean, they are just a few jackals, but that can be nice. And then there's a special jackal type in red, probably like an elite type of unit in this imagined DLC in this level, with a little more armor or something. So once you deal with these enemies, you've reached the place to plug Juliana in, and once you do that, you get control over the airlocks, and you can actually witness out these windows these two jackals on that elevated ledge into the next dock. They're not going to be ready for the airlocks opening, and so you'll kind of observe the impact that has on them, and then you will be able to go through these doors, either, or if you want to take the kind of high ground, go through here, or you can go back down and go outside through here. Yeah. Now I'll go into just a few changes that I think could be done with this blockout. Again, it's just a practice project, so I think I'm going to go into the next thing, and which is, I think, it will be learning some blueprinting. But if I were to kind of do another pass of this, I think there's some things that could be changed. So I'll go into those. So one of the things I think could be improved is the lighting. There's some artifacts in some places, up there. I used several rectangular lights and some point lights for some ambient lighting. The shadows aren't too bad, but yeah, definitely some artifacts. And I think maybe implementing some emissive materials to actually create some lights on these. These are supposed to be kind of the racks, the light racks for hanging lights to be suspended from. Another thing has to do with the metrics of the space. I think as I started playing it a little bit more, and once I the focus was less about the design of the space, and I could start sort of looking for other things. The metrics kind of didn't feel quite right. I did just jump into this sort of wanting to make something quick, but for example, this space feels a little bit narrow for a Halo space. The areas behind these boxes feels a little narrow. Maybe I think things could be a little bit larger. I mean, this does take place inside an asteroid, so space is a little bit hard to come by. But I think there are some areas that a little tight and for kind of a typical Halo experience. Another place where I think there could be a change is these ramps and these elevated sort of areas to the right and left of the player. I think that they aren't really accessible, and there's no reason to kind of go up there with the current way they're laid out. As you kind of get into combat with these jackals, you're probably using this forklift for cover, and to run towards them out into the open, expose yourself, and to kind of get to this ramp is sort of kind of stressful. So just flipping these to put the ramps on the side closer to the player, and so allowing them kind of this strafing movement option to sort of go up onto these platforms. The boxes would be on the right, so they'd be kind of safe to strafe up here, and then kind of get this maybe like more a little better vantage point, just to offer some variety here. Another thing would be interactables, just having a door here with a switch that would actually the player could use. Another thing is probably the optimization, or at least the performance. There is some kind of screen tearing or something going on that I would like to address. So something I'd like to figure out. The control room also could be a little small. Again, going back to the metrics and the tight spaces. So I think playtesting this blockout, sharing it with some people, and getting their feedback could also reveal a lot of interesting stuff. And if you want to try this out, there is a download link for this, so you can download it and play with it and just see what you think. If you happen to have some feedback, if you happen to want to mention something that I didn't mention, just let me know. I'd love to hear what else I should kind of be thinking about. So thank you.